just because I'm gonna throw this meat on the ground in my chicken pen doesn't mean we still can't eat it. Come on, ducks. I believe you. Oh, I realize some of you may have liked the intro to the last video. It started off with Mama Pepper just making fart sounds, but can't start them all like that.
That is so funny.
I actually skipped breakfast today to get working on some projects because we had a deer hanging since last Friday. We wrap it in a bed sheet, keep it hosed down with cold water throughout the day, and then the nights are cool enough that it gives a chance to age the meat without having anything spoil. This is just some tonic water, it's quinine, in case you're wondering what I'm drinking, but Mama made me this wonderful chili, and chili with the noodles in it. That's the way I was raised. She wasn't sure if she was going to do rice or noodles. Did noodles this time, and reminds me of being young. Because that's how my mama used to make it. She put fermented jalapenos on top too, so she's got some fermenting videos she wants to do here soon. But we just cut up our deer. We did the first load of jerky last night. We got a bunch of roast and the tenderloin and the backstrap. Bunch of jerky to come. I'm marinating right now on the porch in the shade. Limited space in the fridge right now. And then Mama's gonna, I think she's gonna can up like another 12 pints of stew meat in the pressure canner. But I'm gonna talk about not wasting. Not wasting. Looking at things from a homesteader's point of view, where everything is a resource. It all has some potential value because it exists. You know, I mean, even garden pests, you know, can be used to feed your chickens. Or I found out, I made a video about unexpected uses or unexpected benefits of the pond. My children will hand collect some of the less painful bugs in the garden to go throw them in the pond and feed the fish. Like, we didn't think about that. But our pond's up by, our little mini pond is up by the garden. Kids go, Dad, can I go pick bugs again? And they'll pick a bunch of the pests and throw them in there and watch them, you know. It all has a purpose. It all has a benefit. And that's what we like to do. That's what we're going to look into in this video. Just let me enjoy my lunch / breakfast first. Speaking of everything being a resource on the homestead, we got honeybees coming out like crazy right now because obviously it's a warmer day, but the children spilt some lemonade, which is homemade lemonade with sugar, on the table. And that's part of, you know, viewing everything as a resource around here. That helps. If the bees clean it up, we'll wipe it down later. You know, we don't want ants or things like that coming out. But if we view it as a resource and treat it as such, give it an opportunity to be used, a lot of times it will. And that's exciting to see. Here's one of mine right now. This is my next resource I'm not going to waste. You can see where I blasted that hole in there, right above my thumb. Took out the lungs, just missed the heart. But the deer belly made it 30 feet. It was dead when I got there. I didn't take long to get there. And this right now, I'm actually just going to chuck on the ground inside one of my pens and let the animals peck it clean. Did they peck that other one clean?
Yeah. It's right over there.
Oh, it's right there. Okay. I see it now, you're right. Can you let me in quick? So, got a lot of stuff running around here for poultry. And tomorrow I think is culling day. I had a job lined up, I don't think I need to do it yet. So we'll get to that the next day.
Quit slipping.
And that'll give me a free day tomorrow. So here's an example. With chronic wasting disease, we don't make bone broth. Even though I could have these tested and then choose to, if it was clear. And all this meat then, we could, cut a lot more off of here. And just because I'm gonna throw this meat on the ground in my chicken pen, doesn't mean we still can't eat it. But what it means is that by the time we eat it, it's going to be turned into eggs or meat. So look at the guineas too. Everyone just piles over and they'll peck that thing clean. This is a resource. Here's one I dropped in earlier. You can barely distinguish it. It's all, brown and white now. There's no more red. They pecked all that off. So they will peck this thing clean. They'll use it as a lunch. Look at that, one's climbing inside. To me, that's so awesome. This will cut down on feed too then and give them a really high protein meal out of this. Like a bunch of little vultures pecking the carcass clean. And if you're looking, this is kind of a ton in this one pen. And what we're going to do is we're going to designate one pen for the guineas. I think that one over there on the other side of here will be for the guineas. This one here will be for the chickens. And that one there, we finally got all the chickens out of there. Well, some walked in the open gate.
Yeah.
But earlier, did you guys change that water today? Did they get it that muddy?
Yeah, they take a lot of baths, and since it's muddy in there, they...
Okay. Well, we're going to cut down on the muddiness, so we should have cleaner water. And then their lunch comes next. I got a treat for them too. But yeah, this is quite a few. I think we're getting rid of probably about 15 roosters at least tomorrow. And then we're going to do a hen count because I got a friend over at Humble Valley Homestead who's looking to chicken up. So we might be doing a little bit of that here in the near future. But look at those guys go to town. Now, you'll notice guineas and chickens, as well as turkeys, they got beaks. Ducks don't have beaks, they have bills. So what I give them is a little different. There's where that was. I was looking for that. What happened to it? Oh, the ducks were nibbling on it? Yeah, this don't work so well for ducks, but yeah! Those chickens will take care of that. Won't you? You got hard workers. There was a time years ago where I would just burn the rib cages and carcasses and stuff right away. And all that meat that could have been eaten by our chickens was wasted. And some chickens free range, so I had some carcass on the fire pile a bit ago. And we noticed that the chickens were pecking it. We thought, oh man, why didn't we think of that? But for ducks and stuff with bills, when we can our meat, we try to cut off all the sinews and tendons. I actually got some of that I'm saving up. So I got this bowl here. Doesn't look the most appetizing, and we could eat it. We could make a stew out of it. But this is what we're going to use for the ducks right now, and they will probably gobble this whole thing up. I'll find out here. Come on, ducks, come back inside. You can see them running around out here. I think they're going to come back in a minute. You ready for some meal? You hungry? Come on. Come on, ducks. Yeah, look at you guys go. If you want, those turkeys could come in here too. So we cut this into small chunks on purpose to help the ducks be able to grab it, because they ain't gonna peck it off a carcass like the chickens will. Look at that madness. That big Tex is the big daddy here. Got a lot of babies too. Here, turkeys, you guys want some? Come and get some. Finishing with it. They're getting pretty done with it. So those bones, when they get pecked clean, we can still burn them, still use them like that. If it wasn't for the chronic wasting disease, I'd be making stew with all that stuff or a broth, but options are limited, so you got this many, poultry running around. And we've got rid of quite a bit since I watched that one video by that possibly wisest homesteader on YouTube. We got rid of quite a few. We've got more to go. And thankfully, those geese that showed up, they went to their new home too, so I'm gonna work on these, building up this duck flock, and then the guineas as well. But I got a couple other things I want to show you as well. As far as using it all, you see, living out here in the country, not everyone is just some kind of live off the land type mountain man, make the use of everything, live more like the natives supposedly did, of using everything. We'll find deer dumped by the lake or down off some of the gravel roads where somebody just took the back straps and tenderloins out. I like back straps and tenderloins, but there's so much more on these animals that's good and worthwhile. And, even here, all that's a resource. Everything you just saw me use in those poultry pens, that's a resource. That's something we can use. One other thing we've been doing for years now is saving the skins. I've got a really good recipe that I like for tanning the hides right here. That's a deer skin. That one is the first one I took with a gun this year. And that's rawhide, so we're going to use that, but look at that. See how it's translucent? I got a little cleaning up to do on it still. There's some fat dangling off the edges and some stuff, but the hair's off it, all the stuff's off the other side. Rawhide, that is useful. I got some videos hopefully coming up eventually we'll be putting that to use and showing you guys some of the stuff that you can do in rawhide and sinews I've been saving recently. So before I show you those sinews though, I will say that too. Look at that. That's the head off of this one. And you can boil this to clear it up, but I just drop in a 5-gallon bucket of water and give it some time. Done a number of skulls like that, works pretty well. And if you do that, this is an example of what they look like after being soaked in a bucket. This one was actually the first buck I ever shot. You can see I left it out in the woods too long, and squirrels came along and nibbled on some of it. Right now that just kind of adds some character, but I still want to get it you know, put up on the wall as some decor. And then besides the rawhide, we've enjoyed, like I said, making some really nice skins. There's a purpose, you know, there's uses that you can have for things. Look at this skin. You know, I tan that myself. I've got one in the bathroom right now I'm working on for a project because I'm taking the one off of that buck. Look at that. And I'm going to turn it into something like this. This is a little vest I made for Bugger. It's got a little button on the front, and I kept the tail on the back. Got a compliment on it on a video I shared, no, a picture I shared on the community page, and guy from Real Cool Adventures said, wow, cool vest. I said, hey, thanks, I made it like a day prior. You know, but now he's got a cool little part of an outfit that he can wear from the deer, and this one's actually a cape that I'll probably add a hood to, but Pinky Pepper wanted to wear it, so I just made a little thing here where she can wear that way as a cape. Obviously not outside right now because it's hunting season. We don't want that going on. But, you know, whether it's just some decor, and even this could just be chew toys for dogs or other things too. Doesn't have to be decor. You don't have to wear it. You could use it like I was saying with that rawhide. You know, you could turn it into a tool, essentially. And I look forward to some stuff with that. But I really do like, you know, look at that. That is so amazing. They don't all turn out like that, but over time, practicing these skills, I get better and better, which really helps. And then here's the sinews I saved. I can't wait for these to dry and to use some of those, much like that rawhide. That's going to come in handy, so figured I'd collect it while I had the opportunity. What you got going, Mama?
I'm about to pressure can our deer.
Oh, look at him. He's doing it, Mom. What do you want? Are you making a little hand symbol? That's kind of like the symbol like you would have if you were milking a cow, but that's how he asked Mom for milk. Okay, why don't you take a break first, and then I'll come back to this. You're going to have milk? Hey! You got a fist bump for me, buddy? Hey! Thank you.
All right.
How many jars did we got this time?
I don't know, actually.
I think 12, right? 9 on the bottom, 3 on top?
Perhaps.
Okay.
We can fit more with these jars because they're skinnier, I believe.
Okay.
So you can fit more on the bottom.
They're still
All right.
So, we find that with a lot of the deer around here, if we just kind of can up the stew meat, and we take out our back straps and about 3 roasts out of each hind quarter and our tenderloins, and a bunch of jerky meat, that we get about 12. I think last time we tried to make up a bunch, so we saved less roasts and stuff, and then we had 18 in one of these, but I think we already got 30 jars of venison canned up for our family. And of course, canning is a great way to preserve even without electricity. Once you get it canned, you don't need a freezer running to keep that meat good. Right now I do keep the jerky in the fridge if it's got a good fat content, but otherwise you could, you know, dry it completely and store it somewhere else too. But I keep it in the fridge for now, and I've got a couple more batches I'll be making today. So when it comes to things like canning versus freezing, why do I like pressure canning our meat?
Because we can put it on our shelf and save it for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I don't need to freeze it. I don't need to waste the freezer space. We have 2 freezers plus the one above our fridge right now. We may always have that many. I'd like to get down to 1. It's not a huge deal, but even with a temporary power outage, all that becomes compromised. You know, we got to be careful with it. Now, what's one nice thing about just freezing a big old roast or some of the other meat?
Well, if I freeze it, I don't feel as bad because, you know, if you spend the time pressure canning, you kind of want to let it sit on your shelf for a bit. And
Sure, you don't feel as bad using it.
exactly. So I can just pull it out of the freezer. It's not so bad. I just kind of toss it in my Instant Pot and put a roast in there to cook. And there wasn't a lot of time to preserve it.
There's a smaller investment in freezing it, you know, where you just take the roast out, throw it in a bag, throw it in the freezer, and then drop it in the Instant Pot and add some stuff to it. Where to cut it into a bunch of pieces, to put in the jars, to pressure can it, there's a lot more investment with that. So it all depends on what you want to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing some of both of it.
Right.
I wouldn't want to freeze it all, just because, you know, then you got all your eggs in one basket again.
Right.
You got to diversify your assets, even if your assets are all just dead deer.
And I think that's really important to have that diversification with our foods, you know, whether you're drying meats, making jerkies, or some sort of dried meats.
You could freeze dry it, you know.
Freeze dried meats. You got your frozen meats that you can be using for that time, you know, that season of life.
We wanted to get into some smoked meats coming forward.
And then the canned meat where you're putting that on your shelf for later. So all those really come in handy at their times.
And like you said too, you know, you kind of want to have it on your shelf for a bit, but even we had a friend who was actually raised on canned carp. That's what her mom would do. She's probably almost old enough to be my mom, the lady. You know, she was raised on that, but we gave her some to try, and it took her a while to try some. She's like, oh, I just like to look at it. I like seeing it there, you know, just the nostalgia of it, the look of it. They are cool to kind of have on display in your pantry for a bit.
Actually, it does look really pretty in the can. The carp.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it looks beautiful.
So in this video I was talking about the buckskin and the hides and the sinews and the carcasses, because I would throw the carcasses in for the chickens and then just the raw, you know, meat in for the ducks. One thing too is a lot of times for human consumption, to prevent, you know, parasites or diseases or other things, a lot of times you're going to want to have a critical control point. A critical control point for meat often is A, freezing it, B, cooking it at a certain degree so it gets a certain internal temp, or, you know, C, all of the above. A lot of times people like to have those multiple critical control points. And I think, you know, with the pressure canning, we cook it really good then. It's in the can and then we cook it again. But some people always want to freeze their own stuff before they eat it. We make some jerky right away. We've got a roast we're going to have tonight. I got kind of marinating with a dry rub and some other stuff. I don't know if I should call it marinating with a dry rub. I'm seasoning it right now. But what else do you like about using it all? Did you see Bug's little vest and stuff? You like that?
Yes, I really liked Bugger's
Bug, would you put on your vest and come here for a minute?
vest. I think it's really neat, and it's just a special thing that Papa made for him that he can enjoy wearing and be a boy, and he looks wild with it.
Oh yeah, I can see him getting a lot of use out of that. Come between us here, Bug. So yeah, there's his little vest.
And the boys feel all special because Papa made them something special. So with something that Papa hunted, and
you know, a lot of people just pitch their skins. They'll skin the deer to get the meat out, and they'll chuck it. I'm not much of a chucker. I'd rather use it. And of course, I might have done the shoulders a little different, the corners and stuff as I progressed. But this is my first one. It was just something I was trying, and we're really pleased with it. Are you really pleased with it?
Yes.
Yeah, he likes it too.
So I'm looking forward to see what else we can make out of our skins.
I was talking with Monster Truck about some of the bones too, and we had been to the Johnny Morris, some of his stuff, Bass Pro Shop, Top of the Rock. He's got so much going on, but he's got a lot of the artifacts, and a lot of those artifacts are even bone spear tips or arrow tips or different tools. I'm like, we got these bones here, you know, once the chickens peck them clean, we can make some things out of some of them, and I'm looking forward to that. I think in the spring we're going to test out with our spear fishing or bow fishing, making some of our own rigs and doing some things, and even like the sinews, I could make a really nice bowstring with some of that. And the Osage orange around here and other things are all good for bows. So thanks, Bug. You can take that off. But just kind of viewing things as a resource, looking at things outside the box, not being much of a consumer, but more of a producer, providing for more of our own needs, and trying to get the most use out of it all. Are you going to be ready for chickens tomorrow?
I have to be.
You have to be. That's a good
I
point.
guess I have to because we need to do it. And our chickens are probably going to be happy that we cut down on roosters.
Oh, hey, buddy. That's my
Whoa.
camera stand. He's ready to clean? You're ready to help your family? Man, well, I'll tell you what. Your little snack time's over, so Mama's going to get back on the
Pressure canning.
pressure canning. And what do we do for...
Okay. For the deer
Yeah.
meat, I think it's 75 minutes for the pints
And that's what we're doing.
at 11 pounds pressure.
Okay. And then for the fish, we do 100 minutes for the pints at 11 pounds pressure, but that's for our altitude.
Correct.
And anyone who hasn't started pressure canning yet, what would you tell them? Being a newer pressure canner yourself, you know, you haven't been doing it that long. It's not like you got decades under your belt. What would you tell them?
I would say don't be afraid, and it's not that hard. Just take it step by step. Read the directions. That should help.
She likes the directions.
Watch a few videos. Watch a few videos. Ask some friends who maybe pressure can. Maybe have a friend
Tutor you, mentor you.
Yes,
Yeah.
go through with you a few times on how to use your pressure canner. There's also, you can do a test run with your pressure canner to make sure it's working well and things like that. Yeah, see if a friend will take you under her wing or his wing and guide you through it. And after you do it a couple times, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I've been doing some hot water baths now for a number of years with salsas and pickles and other things. But Mama's even taught me how to pressure can a bit, and I ran some stuff. Must have been with the fish. This spring, I ran some stuff kind of to cut you a break, and
Oh, yes.
I had her there for support if I needed it, but I figured it out.
Mom wanted to see some daylight hours.
So
For sure.
one thing, don't Google everything right away. Use your brain a bit. Get creative. Think. Look at potential resource and something. I mean, even those bones there, I mean, there's a lot of calcium there. There's other things. That's why I showed you those antlers were nibbled on by a squirrel. There's always uses for stuff. Sometimes you just got to think and figure it out, and then you can get a lot more use out of your thing. You know, I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck, but for that last bang, I even got a buck, and I don't want to waste that buck. I want to use it, have it bless us as much as it possibly can, and I think that's where we're at on this one. We got a lot of good
wise.
meals. I might have to make you a vest out of that next one.
Hmm.
I'm starting the next step of the process and tanning it today.
Cool. I can't wait to see what we turn that into.
Does he got poop?
Mm-hmm.
He's got poop. We gotta go. Pop
Diaper
out.
change time. Mom out.
So how is the pressure canning going so far, my lady?
Pretty good right now. I put this on here. I think it's the pressure regulator, and then it's starting to build up pressure. We're going to go up to 11 pounds pressure right
So
there.
we're at like 3 or 2.5.
Yes.
Are you happy we got that all canned up?
I am definitely glad. This is awesome. This is great. We're starting to move along quickly with our processing, with our deer, and canning up what we can can up, freeze what we can freeze, and saving a little bit on the side so we can use to cook with during the week.
Right, yeah, because we can eat, right away too, and then that's less we got to store,
Right.
you know.
Save
That's
some.
good, because I just shot another one.
Ah!
A big one.
Really?
Not a big buck, but a big one.
Wow.
Hence my orange outfit. And that's why we wanted to get this one taken care of.
Okay.
I'm shaking a little bit, the camera's vibrating. All right, I'm gonna go bring it back and take care of it.
Okay.